Hello friends, welcome back to Techie Pintu channel. This is the part 2 of OpenAI Mini Series. Now in the first part, we saw a basic setup of OpenAI, how you can generate so that you can ask any question to OpenAI API and it will return back the answer. But in today's video, we are going to see how to get the streaming response instead of getting the response all at once. So before we dive into that, let me explain you what streaming response is. If you go to the chatgpt.com and if I ask, tell me 5 lines long story. Now, when we enter prompt or question to the ChatGPT, it will print word by word. So this word by word printing is called streaming. Now, where it can be used, whenever we have a, let's say, voice bot, or where you have to send the audio to the LLM or get the response from LLM to the audio API in a streaming response. Why? Because this is a 5-line long story. What if it's a 100-line long story? Then you cannot just wait for whole response to generate first and then send it all together. It will take time. It might take 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It can take as many minutes as it wants. But if we use streaming, it will return us word by word. So another example is tell me 100 lines long story. Now you see, if you are using a streaming, as soon as the words are generated by the ChatGPT, we are getting it. So we are not waiting for the whole response, otherwise it will be a bad user experience, right? We are just waiting and the answer is still not on the screen. So same can happen with the API. So today we are going to implement this feature. So without further ado, let's go to the OpenAI documentation. This is the link of text chat completion I have given in the description, and this is the link or menu of streaming response. I have provided this link into the description as well. So you can come to this OpenAI streaming response page. It says by default, when you make a request to OpenAI API, we generate the model's entire output before sending it back in the single HTTP response. That's why you have to wait for a long time. But when generating long output, waiting for a response can take time. Streaming response lets you start printing or processing beginning of the model output when it continues generating full response. So we will get response from API word by word. Let's see in the code API example. So this is the previous code. If I just directly run it, AI basic setup. Tell me 10 lines long story. Now you see, it will first generate the 10-line long story and then return the response. See, we had to wait for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. What if someone is trying to generate 100-line long story, maybe 200, 300 or 1000? The user will be waiting for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, we don't know. So what we can do, we will use streaming. So let's create a new file, OpenAI stream.py. Again, we are going to the documentation, go to the streaming, select Python if it's not already selected. We are going to use this code, copy, and we are going to paste it. So this is the code, and I'm going to use 4O mini because it saves token and it saves cost. Everything is same, as you can see. Let's copy and paste it this as well. Import OS. Okay, so everything is same as before. If you do not know this one, then please check the last video I have added into the info card as well. Now if we run this code, tell me 1-line motivational quote. So OpenAI stream.py. Oh, what is this? So well, as you see, what is the difference between these two code? So previously we had the same code, but what is different here? As you can see, one new parameter which is called stream. Stream is a boolean type which accepts either true or false. In the previous basic setup, we haven't given anything, so it was just returning a 10-line story once the whole output is generated. But now we can add the streaming. Now how do you know whether to add stream or not, what is the spelling of the stream, or maybe there is some other parameter for this? How do you know? So I'm not God, you are not God, so no one is God. So what we can do, we can go to the library itself and check whether we are getting any similar. Okay, as you can see, we can search stream. Yeah, see, we are getting this stream as a STREM. If they have written stream 1, then we had to use stream 1, but it's a stream only, then we are going to use that only. And it says it takes false by default, and you can provide any true or false, and if it's not given, it will be not given. So here we haven't provided anything, and it just assume that we are not wanting in a streaming manner, so we are not gonna save it. So that's why. Now another thing, what is this chunk? So if I just If I show you this chunk, now this chunk is a class. Basically, you can say Pydantic class or a structured output. Now this chunk has ID, it has choices. Choice has another choice class which has delta is equals to choice delta class. This choice delta class has content. Now this is the content which we are seeing in the terminal, which is right now empty. Then second one is double quotation, then believe, you, can, etc. But this is not that helpful. How are we going to read from this one? So OpenAI has provided that to stream only text response of your chat completion, your code would like this. So we are going to copy this code, come here and replace it. Okay, we just replace the code, and let me change this model to OpenAI 4o Mini. Now I'm going to change this, tell me original code. Okay, I'm again going to print it, and now see, it printed, but it was one line, so it was so fast that we couldn't even see the streaming effect. So what we can do, we can say tell me 10 lines motivational, long motivational story, not a quote. So now if you print it, you will see the streaming effect. Still it's too fast, so let me make it maybe 100. We will see the effect. See, now we don't have to wait for the whole response. It might take 1 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. But as a user, I won't feel that, oh, I'm waiting on a blank screen. Now it is generating, and as it is generates, I can send it to the front end, and front end can show the streaming response. And this way user experience is really good. So what did we change? Two things. First, we added stream parameter, and whenever you have a stream, you have to use a for loop, because this stream is an object. Now this object has one like chunk, then choices. In choices we are using delta and content. So if I print the chunk this time, it will make sense for you. So just a second, print. Okay, but to see what this chunk is, we are just going to say one line and run it. Okay, this is one line chunk, but now you see this is chunk, and this is our final output text. So we are taking chunk, choices of zero index, delta and content. So we have this choices here. Choices has a first list index which is 0, which is choice, then it has a delta, then we are accessing delta, choice delta, delta has content, so we are accessing content, and we are putting this end line. End line, what it does, it prints every word in the same line. It doesn't print line by line. If we remove this, then it will print line by line. I will show you how. But this is what chunk is. So you can just comment them. Just going to remove this too. And see the output. See, it is like line break. But if I keep it like this, it will be in one line. So this and basically it's a Python thing, it's not OpenAI. Well, this is how you can use streaming in your application whenever you want to stream the response of maybe very long sentence or maybe long story or a long content, and you can send it to the front end at the same time, and front end can show it to the user. And I hope you like this streaming one too. If you have any questions regarding this streaming, because streaming can be tricky, sometimes you can use async IO await as well. I have tried it, but right now we are just going with the OpenAI documentation. If you want to know that way, I will make a video on that too. But if you have any other doubts, just let me know in the comment section. And if you like the video, like, share and subscribe, and we will meet on the next video. Till then, bye bye.